We got the great Brenden Deeg from The Score, football news editor. Good morning, Brenden. How you doing today?
Doing well, man. How you guys doing?
Very good, dude. It just feels really cool to be able to say that you're now part of The Score, my friend. Congratulate, officially. I know I texted you this, but officially on the air. Congratulations on that big job there with The Score there.
Yeah, thanks, man. It's going really well so far. I get to cover football for a full time job. Can't complain, man. It's been a good start, and looking forward to keep providing you guys content. And thanks for having me on, man. Really appreciate it.
I appreciate it. All right, so today is Monday. We do on Mondays. We do something called Overreaction Mondays here. And before I get into your overreactions or your thoughts on the Eagles game, I have something that I'm really thinking. I haven't figured out which one is my correct answer to this question yet. What is the overreaction from yesterday's 38-35 win for the Eagles that fans are having that they need to just pump their brakes a little bit? Be like, yeah, it was week one. It was the energy in Detroit. It was a lot of factors, things that people are overreacting to that they shouldn't be after that week one game.
I think we gotta see what happens with the defense a little bit, but it's definitely concerning. That's what I'm most worried about. And look, it's week one. Like you said, the show's called Overreaction Monday, so I'm guessing you're looking for some crazy takes here. But yeah, I'm worried about the defense. I'm not going to lie. I think that's where everyone's heads at too. I think that's where fans' heads should be at as well. I think the Eagles won because of Jalen Hurts. I don't think he should be getting any of the blame today for how the game went yesterday. I think the defense is the biggest concern going forward. So if you're looking for where to pump the brakes, the offensive line wasn't very good. So I think some fans were also talking about that. I think the offensive lines are going to be just fine. They struggled.
Actually, I did see like three people say that this is definitely not the best offensive line in football.
Yeah, it's again. I actually thought them and the Kansas City Chiefs had the best offensive line going into this year, so I think they'll be just fine. I think a lot of it was blitz pickup. Like Jason Kelsey actually said after the game in his press conference that they didn't do a very good job of picking up the blitz, and it showed. Like the Lions were kind of throwing the kitchen sink at them. A lot of free rushers were going at Jalen Hurts, so I think maybe that's probably the best answer for that question is the offensive line will probably be just fine. The Lions had a lot of creative blitzes, and Aaron Glenn, defensive coordinator of the Lions, is a really smart guy. So he kind of threw everything they had at the Eagles week one.
So as we were getting started, waiting for you to come on the air, and we were doing the intro of the show, me and Jason were talking about Detroit and how much of yesterday's performance by Detroit was that they're a better team. And I thought they were a better team coming into the season. I had them at 7 wins, which is an improvement for them, obviously. How much of it was that they're improved, but how much of it was the energy, the first sellout in like 100 years, the hard knocks over hype and stuff. How much of it was that, and maybe they played over their head, which caused the offensive line to look a little worse than they are. The defense, maybe we'll get into the defense specifics in a minute, but made the defense look a little worse. How much of it was that maybe played into it?
I think at the beginning of the game, it definitely had something to do. The Eagles started 0-5, right? They had, I think, 5 first-half penalties. 4 of them were pre-snap. So that definitely is crowd noise. That's something to do with it. Yeah, I don't think you can blame it all on that, but it definitely does have a factor. And yeah, look, the Lions are going to be a better team this year. I predicted them to go 6-11 on my podcast. I think that sounds about right. I think they could probably leave a couple wins on the table. They're going to be feisty in some games. Like, look, today they covered this, or yesterday they covered the spread. Right, the spread was 5.5. They won. The Eagles only won by 3. So there's going to be a lot of games like that for the Lions, in my opinion, throughout the year. So yeah, the Lions are not a terrible team. I think if you're looking from an Eagles fan perspective, it's more of the fact that you give up 35 points to that team is the biggest problem, more than the fact that they were in a close game.
Yeah, with the defense then, because you obviously are heavily concerned there with the defense. Hold on, let me switch tabs. What is it? 144 yards for DeAndre Swift, another 28 for Jamal Williams, and a big 10-yard rush for Jared Goff. That was kind of pathetic to see that. Jared Goff should not be rushing 10 yards for a first down. To me, on the defensive side of the football, I wasn't concerned with the secondary or the back end of the defense. I was concerned with the run defense. We're supposed to have a much deeper offense or defensive line. The linebackers are supposed to be better. I know DeAndre Swift was their biggest weapon, really, that we had to stop. But let's be honest, that's a lot of yards, a lot of ground yards to give up, which already a really good run defense. So that to me is where my biggest concern is. Why did the Eagles give up so much on the ground yesterday?
Yeah, I don't know. The Jonathan Gannon style defense, right, is light boxes. So you're playing 6 or 7 man in the box. Which look that in a vacuum, it's fine in the way the NFL's going. That's where you see a lot of defenses kind of transitioning to. It's the Vic Fangio style defense. A lot of teams are kind of taking over that defensive scheme. I don't know what I don't really have a full answer exactly what happened on the run defense, but oh sorry, my bad. That's my apologies. Oh, my bad. That's something playing in the background. Yeah, Jonathan. Yeah, I don't really know. I have an exact answer on the run defense, but yeah, it looks like the Lions were kind of just running through massive holes. It looked like the interior of the defense, like Jordan Davis, Fletcher Cox, and Jordan Hargrave didn't have their best games yesterday, and the run defense is concerning, like you said. The third down defense is what really is concerning for me. The Lions were 9 for 14 on third down, and the Eagles got 1 sack. So if you're going to play this style defense, if you're going to play the Vic Fangio style of 6, 7 light boxes, kind of 2 high shell defenses, you have to get pressure on third down, and you have to get them off the field. Eagles got 1 sack and went 9 for 14 on third down. That, in my opinion, that's where the story is for this game.
You mentioned 2 names there a lot. You mentioned Jonathan Gannon's name and Vic Fangio's name a lot, and it is Overreaction Monday, so there are a lot of people today already calling for the firing of Jonathan Gannon and already for the hiring of Vic Fangio. And Vic Fangio was obviously in camp for a few days this off season.
Mm-hmm.
I personally am saying I was very hard on Jonathan Gannon last year. He made adjustments. He got better as the year went on. I'm saying pump the brakes on that at this point, because it was just week one. It was on the road. It was in Detroit. It's hard to win on the road in the NFL. Am I overreacting by saying pump the brakes there?
No, for sure. It's been 1 game, right? Like you got to wait. I was very hard on him yesterday. I've been very hard on him, but what's frustrating is it looks like the same stuff that happened last year transitioning over to this year with different personnel, right? So that's where the worry comes in, and that's where I'm worried about. The Eagles' defense is a lot different than like on the personnel side than it was last year, right? They added a lot of pieces onto this defense. Like the 2 safeties are different. James Bradbury is different. You added 2 new linebackers. You added Jordan Davis, right? There's a lot of different personnel on the field, and it looked the exact same as it did last year. So, in my opinion, when that happens, you have to kind of look at the defensive coordinator and put blame there. So, the one thing that's always bugged me with Jonathan Gannon's defense is it's boring. They doesn't look creative. Like he ran a couple. So he did get a little bit creative yesterday. They ran Hassan Reddick on 2 A-gap blitzes up the middle on third down. It was back-to-back third downs. They did. Hassan Reddick actually transitioned into the middle of the defense, attacked the A-gap. The Lions were ready for it. It's like they knew it was coming, and the Lions connected on 2 third down opportunities. So those Hassan Reddick A-gap blitzes did not work. So I think they have to kind of go back to the drawing board here and figure out a way to get pressure on the quarterback and not allow Jared Goff to go, or a guy like Jared Goff to go 9 for 14 on third down. Like imagine like if Jared Goff's going 9 for 14 on third down, like imagine when they play good quarterbacks. And the other thing is too, with this team, we're gonna notice it throughout the year. The Eagles don't play very many good quarterbacks this year. I think Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay is the best.
He didn't look too good last
night. They're going to play Dak. They were supposed to play Dak Prescott week 6. He's not going to be there. Yeah, that's it. Dak Prescott twice and Aaron Rodgers once was the 2 best quarterbacks that they were going to face. Dak Prescott's gone for one of those. So you're not going to really get a good test, I guess, from this defense. Sorry, my camera's kind of turning there.
Some horror movie here. It's just like swaying around.
Yeah. I don't know what happened there. But yeah, they're not going to really get a good test from a lot of good quarterbacks this year. So they have to kind of figure it out before they make the playoffs, or when they make the playoffs. In my opinion, I think they're pretty set that they're going to make the playoffs this year now with Dak Prescott going down.
Yeah. So one area that we saw the Eagles kind of struggle the last couple of years, they've been at the bottom of the league as far as interceptions and turnovers and defensive touchdowns. We get the big interception yesterday by Bradbury. What is the ceiling for this secondary this year, in your opinion?
Oh, I think they can be really good. Like James Bradbury and Darius Slay, I thought played pretty well. Like overall, the Lions passing offense wasn't outstanding. Goff went 21 to 37 for 215 yards and 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. It was the run game that kind of set up Goff on easy third downs, like Phil noted to earlier in a couple minutes ago. That really kind of that screwed over the Eagles defense. I think James Bradbury and Darius Slay can both have really good years, and and not even just the secondary. I think the coverage linebacking is just so much better. Like Kaiser White made that huge play. He tipped the ball to James Bradbury, right? Kaiser White looked awesome yesterday. I thought he was the best player on defense.
Yeah, there's literally zero doubt that Kaiser White had probably the best game on defense. But the guy that I wanted to see more of, and people told me I was overreacting even like weeks ago, I wanted to see a lot of Jordan Davis. I know he's got the snap count issue. He can't go 70% of the snaps on defense. But I'm looking at it right now. He played 22 snaps, 32%. And you notice he wasn't.
I didn't even see. That's interesting because I didn't even think 22 was.
I was expecting to see 10 or 12 snaps on there.
Yeah, exactly. So I didn't notice them that much. I think he had only one tackle. He actually made that kind of that big tackle. The tackle he did have, I didn't notice. Yeah.
Well, if you look at the first 2 drives, he wasn't out there at all, and they were running the ball nonstop. Then he was out there for the 3rd drive for the first 2 plays, and they had 2. I mean, he didn't make the tackles on those first 2 plays he was out there, but he clogged up that middle, and they were 2 negative plays. So then instantly you kind of think in your head, all right, well, obviously the defense changes when he's out there, and then they go away from him for most of the game. And yeah, do you think that they will notice that and maybe put him on the field next week and going forward a little bit more?
Yeah, I think game plan for this team was to kind of transition Jordan Davis to more playing time as the season goes on. I don't think you can keep him at 22 snaps for the whole season. He's got to get up into that 35-40 range. He's going to be on a snap count this year. Like, he's not going to be playing. I was expecting probably about 35 to 40% of the snaps by the end of the year. But he's got to play more. And
I'm looking at it. Tupelodu had 29 snaps. Milton Williams had 33 snaps. I mean, there's no reason why he's not out there for 35, 38 snaps.
Tupelodu did not look good yesterday. He had a couple pass rush snaps that were really ugly. Milton Williams, I thought, was okay. But Tupelodu, no, he shouldn't be. He shouldn't be kind of getting on the field for more than a couple snaps a game. So, yeah, I'm with you. They need more Jordan Davis on the field.
Absolutely. Let's move to the offensive side real quick. Obviously, a lot of people are overreacting to Jalen Hurts' performance again, because that's what everybody does. Whether they love him or hate him, they're going to overreact one way or the other on him. And they're overreacting to the fact that A.J. Brown got all the targets and Devontae Smith had 0 catches and Quez Watkins had no targets. You kind of saw that he threw the ball to the left and the right side, not really much down the middle of the field yesterday, only the one deep pass. I actually think if you take those first 5 incompletions out of the equation, Jalen Hurts had a very good game yesterday passing the football.
Yeah, I thought Jalen Hurts was the reason they won this game. Like, and Jalen Hurts is literally the reason why the Eagles are 1-0. And you can't, and that's what you want from your quarterback. Jalen Hurts' escapability saved the day yesterday. Like I said, we talked about earlier, the Lions were throwing a ton of blitzes at them. So Jalen Hurts, I think, had like 90. How many rushing yards did he have exactly? He had 90 rushing yards. 8. So for 8 of those, so he had 8 scrambles for 64 yards. So that's what saved the day. Only 26 of those were on design runs. His ability to kind of escape the pocket was the reason that they won. And if you had a non-mobile quarterback back there for Philly, like if Gardner Minshew was starting in this game, they would have got destroyed. So no, I thought Jalen Hurts was fine. I thought not better. I think he was better than fine. I thought he had a really good day. Yeah, you're right. There were some missed throws. The completion percentage isn't there. He seemed to like A.J. Brown a lot, but look, they brought in A.J. Brown for this reason. Like, I don't really understand why everyone's freaking out. That they only do to A.J. Brown. They put up 31 points on offense, and they didn't. Quez Watkins and Devontae Smith didn't have a catch. In my opinion, that's somewhat of a good sign going forward, right?
Great sign.
Exactly. So I don't really understand the hate towards that. I think Devontae Smith and Quez Watkins are going to be just fine. And I thought Jalen Hurts played really well, and he deserves a lot of credit.
You said it, and I didn't actually know this. I haven't had time to look it up. How many were scrambles and how many were designed runs? So if he had 8 scrambles, that means he had 9 design runs. That is the only criticism I could find from the offense, was that there were too many design runs. He took a lot of hits yesterday.
Yeah,
he's not playing 17 games if he takes that many hits in every single game.
Yeah, the hits are concerning. That's something I did want to bring up. He got hit too much, and he actually. I was watching the press conference. He had a bandage on his elbow. He had like a Band-Aid on his hand. So yeah, he got hit. He probably was feeling it after the game. They have to do something about like limiting the hits for him. I will push back a little bit on the design runs. I do think that needs to be a part of the offense, because that's what he's best at, right? Jalen Hurts' best attribute is his ability to run the football. 9 might be a little too much, but I do think the design runs are going to be a part of this offense, and they should be a part of this offense. But yeah, it's funny. He almost slides like a half a millisecond too early or too late, sorry. And then that allows him to get hit, right? Like if he slid like maybe a second too earlier, then those hits wouldn't have happened. Because like I think there was like about 5 times in the first half where he like slid and they would hit him after, and the refs didn't call it at all. They didn't kind of set a precedent at the beginning of the game for the Lions defenders not to hit him.
Yeah, I kind of noticed that. I was tweeting that a lot yesterday during the game. Come on, like 3-4 plays in a row, he would slide. You'd see a guy come, but you make a good point. Maybe if he slides a half a second sooner, maybe they call that, or that they don't hit him. I don't know, but I still concerned. You don't want 17 rushes from your quarterback on a given week.
For sure. Yeah, well, again, like he half of those were scrambling around. So it's he's got to be able to not take as many hits. And ideally you don't want him running around that much, but that's the one thing about Jalen Hurts. That's one of his best attributes is he's a really, really good runner for the quarterback position. You can like Lamar Jackson's probably the only better one in the league, right? So I thought he played really well yesterday, and I don't think he deserves really much criticism at all. And I think I went into this year saying that the offense is going to be at least top 12. That's their floor. Is top 12 just because their ability to run the football is going to be really good this year. They have a really good rushing attack, and it showed yesterday. And I actually think this offense has a chance of being like top 7, top 8 in like defense and offensive DVOA. So it's the defense is going to be the problem, and it kind of came to fruition yesterday.
Jason, I thought you had something there. You could jump
in.
Well,
no, I was just going to reiterate that I don't think the 68 yard scrambling is it's good that he has that ability, but I think it speaks to the testament of how bad the offensive line played yesterday. I don't think you're going to be seeing this every single game unless your offensive line is shitting the bed, which they did. So, but as you said, it's good to have that in your arsenal. I mean, imagine if it would have been a Carson Wentz or Jared Goff back there. I mean, they probably would have ended up with 5 sacks on the stat line. And we probably don't win that game. So I think Jalen Hurts, as you said, you don't want to see it. You don't want to see your quarterback get hit like that every single game. But the fact of the matter is his escapability enabled them to win the game. Had he not had that, as you said, Brenden, Gardner Minshew's back there, we lose that game. And that's just, to me, I want a winner as my leader. And that's what Jalen Hurts is. He's a winner.
It's been bugging me all episode, Jason. Is that a Tread Cole jersey?
It is.
Okay. I like it. I like it a lot. I've been trying to figure.
Jason has like 3,000 jerseys that he wears on this show.
I was like, is that an 8 on the side? And then I realized finally,
it's not like Reese. Yeah, it's Tread Cole.
Okay. But no, just back to your point. Yeah. Like Jalen Hurts, you don't want him running that much. Of course, scrambling. And again, the offense we talked about at the beginning, the offensive line is probably going to be just fine. Like the Lions defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn, I think is actually going to get some head coaching looks this year. He comes from the New Orleans Saints story. He's Dennis Allen's guy from a long time. He's a really smart defensive coordinator. He knew I thought he had a really good game plan for the Eagles offense. I just thought Jalen Hurts' escapability was kind of was off the charts, and AJ Brown is just an absolute freaking monster. So I think those were kind of the 2 reasons why. Yeah, it's funny that fans are not more pumped up about how good AJ Brown looked. He looks different out there. I don't know if that makes sense, but I haven't seen it.
It's just great that what's his name? Now I'm forgetting his name. Does not hold the debut record for receiving yards anymore. Dante Stallworth. He had the record for most receiving yards. Yeah, he did. He had like 140 some yards in his debut. They said it during the telecast yesterday.
I own a Dante Stallworth jersey. He was one of the first jerseys I bought. I was about like 11 years old, 12 years old at the time. I still remember the Jeff Garcia Dante Stallworth run at they lost to the Saints in that year, right?
It's just great that he does not hold an Eagles record anymore.
Yeah,
that's all I could say.
Not the nicest guy in the world for sure.
And it's crazy. It's crazy because now next week, Minnesota, if they shut AJ Brown down, you still got Devontae Smith. You still got Dallas Goedert. You still got Quez Watkins. Pascal had a catch yesterday. You know what I mean? So there are so many other options now that you stop one, somebody else will have a big game next week.
Yeah, no, exactly. And teams are probably gonna focus more on injury, but I don't know how much of that's gonna work. But yeah, he's a fun player to watch. He reminds me kind of I know this might be crazy, but he's got that TO factor to him a little bit. Like he reminds me a little bit of Terrell Owens on the field. Just he's so big and fast, and like he's hard to take down. Like he had about like 15 to 20 yards after the catch for like defenders just like holding onto his legs and he's dragging them with him. I think again, Eagles receiving core is going to be just fine. I wouldn't stress about Devonta Smith not getting targets and Quez Watkins not getting targets. Again, if the Eagles often struggles, why does my camera keep doing that?
Is there a ghost in your office there?
Yeah, literally, it's designed to take away. But yeah, I would not stress about that at all.
All right, so
can we all apologize about Miles Sanders too? Because I'm going to admit publicly I was wrong. I've been bashing Sanders. I've been saying he's injury prone, which we still could say that, but the fact is he looked really good yesterday. I mean, the highlights that I watched, I didn't watch the whole game, but I saw the highlights and he looked really fresh. And that running game, we talked about it. Would the Eagles, now that they have A.J. Brown, would they kind of go away from the run? And yesterday they utilized the run. So that's a good thing to me, at least in my opinion.
I thought Miles Sanders looked really good yesterday. And I might owe him a little. Not a Paul. I haven't been like so down on Miles Sanders. I'm a really big Kenny Gainwell guy. So maybe it's more of my love for Kenny Gainwell than it is for the hate on Miles Sanders. But yeah, he looked sharp yesterday. That run, I think it was right before the 2-minute warning, kind of saved the game, right? He ran into the back, I think it was of Landon Dickerson, right? And then he kind of squeezed out of there and took off for about 40 yards. I don't know if any other Eagles running back would have been able to do that. So that because Eagles would have punted the ball back to the Lions with 2 minutes left, up 3, and I think we all know how that would have went. So that run at the end of the game was really big. But yeah, Miles Sanders did look really good yesterday. It was encouraging to see.
All right, again, we're talking to Brenden Deeg from The Score here, Double Doink Podcast. As we wrap up and get you out of here, because I know you got a busy day getting, recapping this week 1 and all. If you have one thing you want to see the Eagles be better at next week against Minnesota, what's it got to be?
Kirk Cousins you got to get pressure on Kirk Cousins. Like they got to find a way to get at him. You cannot sit back and let him pick apart this defense. I would be lying to you if I said I'm not really worried about Justin Jefferson absolutely torching his defense because he looked freaking darn good yesterday against one of the best secondaries in the NFL in Green Bay. Like Green Bay secondary is really, really talented. So for Justin Jefferson to be able to pull that off against them, the only way to counteract that is they have to get pressure on Kirk Cousins. They can't let him sit back in that pocket and kind of find the holes in the Eagles defense. So yeah, I think the defense is going to be something to watch this year and how this all kind of plays out. And let's hope they kind of rebound from week 1. But hey, Eagles are 1-0, and that's
Eagles are 1-0, and Dallas is 0-1. So I mean, we can't ask for anything better than that, right?
Did the Giants look the best from the NFC East this week?
I can't say I watched a lot of Giants football yesterday.
But Brian Dable. Brian Dable goes for 2 at the end of the game. I thought that was really cool. But yeah, there's 3.
And Carson Wentz looked pretty darn good in Washington yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. So, it was a fun week 1. I had a blast yesterday. It was exciting. I'm actually looking forward to today's game. Russell Wilson making his return to Seattle.
Seattle, bold prediction. Seattle wins tonight, just so you know.
Yeah, I have a bet with my co-host, my podcast. I think Seattle's going to go over their win total of 5.5. I think they're going to be okay this year. I think they're going to win about 7 to 8 games instead of like under the 5.5. I actually think Rashad Penny in that running game is going to be pretty darn good this year. So, but yeah, it was a fun week 1.
Yeah, fun week 1. Yeah. And make sure everybody you're following Brenden Deeg here. Great guy, man. I appreciate your time. You've always been good to me to come on whenever I ask. Again, one more time, congratulations working with The Score. The podcast is awesome. Everything is awesome that you do down there or up there in Canada because you're not down there. You're up there. Thanks for jumping on this morning. And yeah, man, let's have a great Eagles season.
Thanks for having me on, guys. Appreciate it. Have a good day.
Thanks a lot. All right, that was Brenden Deeg.